The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the podcast platform, its affiliates, or even the hosts. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and should not be taken as legal, financial, or professional advice. The host and guests are not liable for any errors of omission in the content, nor for any losses, injuries, or damages arising from the use of the information provided. Listeners are encouraged to seek professional advice relevant to their specific circumstances.
Are we live? What's good, great people? I am Eza Moon, and I have a special guest in the building today. Tonight's guest is someone whose story exists at the intersection of policy, pain, business, and purpose. From being impacted by the realities of cannabis criminalization to becoming a respected voice and operator within the legal industry, Tahir Johnson represents more than entrepreneurship. He represents transformation. I have the absolute honor and pleasure of sitting with him this evening. Please welcome Tahir Johnson.
Yo, Ezel, what's good, fam? Appreciate you, brother. How you doing today, man?
Man, brother, I'm great. I finally made it to this moment today. Then fought through a lot of obstacles, but my brother, I'm happy to be able to be sitting here with you.
For sure, man. I'm glad we was finally able to do this, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Come on, talk to me, man. Like, how was the day? What was your favorite meal of the day? Did you even get to eat today? What's going on, man?
That's
Be
crazy.
real.
That question. The only thing I ate today, I ate breakfast. I did make sure I ate breakfast, but to be honest, I've been ripping and running all day, man. Like my day looked like of course everything I had to do here with the dispensary, but one of the things that I've been doing to get more discipline is I've been trying to make sure I focus on my health. So every day, Monday through Friday, I go to the gym 7 a.m. So I went to the gym this morning and came home and ate breakfast, and I've been kind of running ever since. It's been a lot busier than I expected. So
man, hold on. So you was in the gym today. All right. Or were you lifting heavy? Or was
you
cardio?
today's arm day, man. You know, I'm not doing no cardio, man. I'm doing very little cardio. My trainer makes me do like I did 500 jump ropes to start. So
okay.
So I did the little jump rope in the beginning, and then after that, it was all arms, man. I'm trying to, like I said, most of my life I was like the skinny dude. Now, since last year, I made this commitment that I'm trying to, even though I'm in my 40s now, I'm trying to get ripped now, be big. Maintain myself, as you, it's important to just try to make sure you take good care of yourself so I could be here for my family and everything,
Amen to that, man. Family is important, brother. Family is important. Real quick. And then I promise I'm getting to the real questions. I promise. But real quick, what are you listening to while you're in the gym?
What do I listen to while I'm in the gym? When I'm in the gym, it's crazy. I love to listen to I'll be listening to Rocky, like the Rocky theme song and stuff like that. It gets you pumped up, feeling like you really him, like you about to do it. Other than that, man, it's like in my playlist, it's like I always got some. I'm simple. I'm still listening to the same stuff I was listening to when I was in high school, college. So I'm listening to like Kanye, Jay-Z, stuff like that. The classic hip hop.
Absolutely. I want to let's go further into your perspective on different things in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Beyond the dispensaries, headlines, and accolades, I want to get into some of the identity. What does it cost to build something meaningful in a system that once punished people who look like you for participating in it?
Now, what does it cost to build it? That's a great question. With dispensaries, I'll say as a rule, what I've always heard, when you look at everything from the costs don't just start when you're opening a business, there's real estate costs, there's so many compliance costs for attorneys, so many consultants, so many things along the way. I would say a safe number that you probably want to be looking at least $1 million, if you want to open a cannabis dispensary. If you're talking about like other cannabis businesses like cultivation, or manufacturing, it could be even more, because then you're talking about more space, more intensive build out. But like this place, for example, not only did I have to get the real estate for the dispensary, but it was pretty much like a complete rehab and build out of the building. So in my case, it was a little bit more. But I would say that the safe number that I've always heard people use is about $1 million.
That makes sense. What about the toll mentally? Like, what was that like? What was that like?
Well, you know what? It's interesting you said that, because when you originally asked that question, what does it cost? My answer that I originally was going to give, it wasn't thinking about money at all. I was about to say it costs a lot.
Yeah.
In all honesty, in terms of me, like personally, right? Like I've literally been, I'll say probably for me, like I've been like all in 100% dedicated to like achieving this goal since like 2018. So for me, like I had a 6-figure job, a Wall Street job that, for one, that I was thankful to have, because even when you get into those worlds, there's not a lot of us there, right? So for me, it cost me like really the bet on myself, sacrifice, right? Like to leave something that was for sure a 6-figure job to go make $15 an hour, start from the bottom. But also it cost me the most important thing that I would say it's cost me is a lot of time away from my family. Right. Like I have 3 older children that are in Maryland where I was living when I left, that came to open here. But also, I also have a 7-month-old at home right here. And it's not abnormal for me to have a day where I done left early in the morning and I get back in at 10 o'clock at night. Right. But again, that's not just a cannabis business, but I think the sacrifice for anything that you have to give when you're trying to achieve that excellence is kind of like, for me, it's no plan B, right? Like if I don't work in this, I don't know, there's ain't nobody that can come bail me out, and ain't nobody that can help. And again, there's not anybody that in my family or anything that has ever been in a position to be able to create or have what I have if I'm successful. So I take it like, very seriously. It's dedication. But then not only that, I'll say the other cost, again, it was just true dedication, like learning about cannabis, right? Like even that education there, like really doing research about the plant. And yeah, I mean, it's a lot of different pieces. And I always think of this saying where it's like, it takes 5 years to become an overnight success, right? And so for me, I think about like 2000, let's just say 23 or whatever, or 20, when I started getting a lot of articles and things like that getting written. The reality is, it literally at that time, it had been 5 years ago that I had quit my job to get there, and multiple failures, but nobody sees, you don't necessarily see that part. You get to see the kind of story at the end where things are going good. And like I said, I've been very blessed. So I'm always thankful, because even with the risk and the gamble that I took, I'm thankful that it worked out the way it did, because it very easily could have been, it very easily could have been different.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, when you said that, I'm not going to lie to you. I usually say it takes 10 years. 10 years was the magic number for me. Like, I was like, look, I know for a fact it's going to be a minute before, this thing is playing on every platform in the world. But I know that, everybody's journey is different. And when it comes to yours, I wonder, how do you remain human while carrying the expectations of the community?
Yeah. I think for me, one of the things that allows me to remain human is that, I'm just a regular person, right? Like I know for me, I think what keeps me grounded is my family. For one, despite all the thing I've achieved, like I'm the oldest of 3 brothers. My brothers, your family members will humble you quick. You ain't, they let you know you still this, you still that, whatever. Don't think that, whatever. That's one thing. But again, also with this, it's like for lack of a better word, I've always felt a huge sense of responsibility that, especially because I've had so much visibility, it's been important for me to represent this the right way, right? Because it's one of those things where, like, imagine if like Jackie Robinson would have went to the league and acted a fool, right? We would have never been where we were today. So I almost look at this like that responsibility, and it's always been like that. I got to be successful, because especially because it's like, if you've been imagine the poster child for this for years and been working at this, and all of a sudden you were successful, well, then I would feel like that would that might impact the next person's ability to believe in themselves. But also, again, when given these opportunities, sometime if you came and like acted out a certain type of way, they might not give that next person the opportunity. So it's like, I feel like I'm carrying the torch for me, for myself, but also at the same time still for that next generation, even while I'm actively in it, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense. Like you're trying to build the bridge for the people behind you while also crossing the same bridge.
Absolutely, man. And the reason that's so important is because, cannabis in the U.S. alone is a multi-billion-dollar industry, but African Americans only own 2% of cannabis businesses in the United States, while at the same time being 4 times more likely to be arrested for cannabis. And when I first got into the industry and was looking at that, for one, those type of numbers are crazy. But when I first got into this industry in 2018, I'll say now social equity is like a buzzword and it's common. And there are even laws that are built around this idea that there should be restorative and reparative justice as cannabis is getting legalized, right? That's how I got my license here in New Jersey, because I qualified for social equity. But when you rewind the clock back to like 2018, it wasn't a given. Now, again, you can get priority because you had a previous cannabis charge. But at that time, they might say if you had a cannabis charge, you were ineligible. And there was this narrative out there in the industry that now that cannabis has become this like corporate business, that the people that look like us that may have even been traditionally been a part of it now are no longer qualified to do this, right? And so for me, it was always very important that although, again, even though I want to stay close to the culture and where I've come from and been around weed and involved with weed for a long time, for me, it was always much more important to lean on like that corporate background that I had, that Howard University background that I have, and to take that narrative, because again, it was going to be like, I deserve this. I got the same credentials y'all got. So you can't tell me that I can't, you know what I'm saying, that I'm not eligible. But oh, by the way, I know how to sell weed too, right? So it's like, but again, for me, even that, it wasn't much longer. It wasn't until I got much further along in my career and even had already achieved some type of success where that was even known. It was like, oh yeah, I did this, got this, that too. But again, because I never wanted anybody to look at me like that or for that. I wanted it to be like, I'm a qualified business person and, I'm able to do it. So, again, it's just always been about trying to be successful here, but also just keep in mind that I'm laying the groundwork for that next cannabis person that's going to come out and do it.
You talk a lot about the next person. I wonder, for when you sit alone with yourself, right? Without the business titles, advocacy work, or public recognition, who is Tahir Johnson really becoming?
That's a good question. In a way, again, I'll answer it. I think of like, you are what you repeatedly do. And most of my days are spent on, again, trying to provide and then trying to give back to my community and trying to build a place where, even like amongst my employees, where people feel seen, heard, valued, all those things. So again, if anything, if it was just what am I still think of myself, I'm the same person I was when I was 18 years old or 12 years old. I just want to, the important thing for me has always been about just treating people the way I want to be treated, just being a good person in general. All this is done is really give me the opportunity to have a platform and something that people care about, that people want to talk about. And, it's always like, for example, as a perfect example, I'll use like when I was in finance, like even though I was in wealth management and my job was to try to get wealthy clients and manage their money, I spent so much time doing financial literacy, going back, teaching children about money, people from our Black communities about money that were underserved. And again, at that time, I was like, dang, it took for me to sell weed to make it to the front page of the Wall Street Journal. When I was like, why nobody put me in the Wall Street Journal when I was in finance, right? But again, like I think as its core, I've always been the same person, but now it's just something that has a lot more attention than what we do. And from the social justice aspect of it, again, that's always just been a part of my fabric. Like my parents, I was raised in a school called African People's Action School here in Trenton. And so for me, I've always had that foundation of like this idea of like, wanting to be a Black leader or something, if you will. Because if you think about it, for us at some time, that's something that really meant something and kind of like the highest honor that you could have in our community. So the opportunity to get to like, not just do that, but be a business leader, to be a dad. Like I got 4 daughters, right? Like, girls. So for them to get to just set that example, right? So, that's what I would say kind of all in all.
Give me your thoughts on on this mindset that purpose is something we choose versus something that slowly chooses us through pain.
Absolutely. That's a really good quote. Purpose is something we choose. I had the opportunity to sit with again, my brother. I spent a good time yesterday with a good brother here from Trenton named Omar Akins yesterday. And he spent over 15 years incarcerated. And now he's coming back home and his mission is to help other people that are doing that, right? And we were having this conversation about purpose where easily he could have came back out and been like, I'm going to be on the same thing doing what I was doing. But he wanted to take that route to make it meaningful, to help other people, even though, even though that could have been, it was a much harder thing to do than to go back to the street. So it's like, for me, I think of like purpose and being that, again, you never know where it's going to be, where life will take you, how you may touch somebody, how you make a difference. And so I think it's just kind of living in your purpose in that moment and just always having a goal. It's like it's like the right opportunity or whatever will find you if you have your head going in the right direction and you're just always working, right? It's like it's like sometimes when you're chasing it, it comes to you. But if you're complacent or not doing anything, you won't achieve anything.
You once said cannabis is my contribution to the revolution.
Mm-hmm.
What does revolution mean to you spiritually, not politically?
Okay. Dang, and I remember saying that. That's a good one, man, bro. You was listening to them cuts.
I gotta do my research, man. I gotta do it.
So what I would say, you said, what does it mean, like spiritually?
What does it mean to you spiritually, and not politically, but like the spirit wise?
Yeah, absolutely. So for us, I mean, not politically, if you will, but again, for us as Black people, for me, the opportunity to take something that has been such a source of pain for so many people, right? Like thousands, again, I can't even tell you the number of how, if you think about this history of time, 100 years, right, of cannabis prohibition, how many people were taken from their family, right? How many people, there's people still sitting in jail for weed right now today, when I own a business that made millions of dollars selling weed last year, right? And so this idea that it's like spiritually that I get to like represent for all of those people that it was like had this experience and that wrongdoing, for me, I don't want to say the word reparation, but it's almost like it is that opportunity for some, and again, I'm not the first, and prayerfully I won't be the last, but for each of us to have the opportunity as a Black person to have this cannabis business, we are standing on top of the shoulders of everybody who was, you know what I mean, incarcerated for this, or not even incarcerated. We were just thinking the different conditions or whatever, the persecution or whatever. So I'm always very cognizant of that. And so again, it feels good to have the opportunity to do it. And then again, to be able to do things like expungement clinics, give back to my community, hire people from our community that might not get a chance. It feels like I'm doing the right thing. You know what I mean? And yeah.
Absolutely. We want to take a quick commercial break. So brother, what happens is, before the commercial comes on, I do a countdown and we say commercial. You
right.
want to join in on that, I'm with it. And if you don't, I understand.
Let's do it.
But, all right. So we're about to take a quick commercial break, everybody. So join us back after these messages in 3, 2, 1, commercial.
WSAN Radio, the soul of America and beyond. Join DJ Ron G and the WSAN crew every day for the Ron G Morning Show, Funk Friday, and Gospel Brunch Sunday. From local heroes to national guests, WSAN Radio connects you to the pulse of our community. One song, one story, one soul at a time. WSAN Radio, where music, motivation, and movement come together. Streaming live, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and WSANradio.com.
Got me together with this two-piece. It's the good leggings, no see-through business.
And we are back, man. Big shout out to all of our sponsors. Please do not hesitate to hit up the United Front Network if, in fact, you would like to advertise on one of our amazing shows. We got a spot for it. My guy, how you feeling?
Hey, great, man. Great. It's been an amazing conversation, bro.
Man, I truly am. I'm glad. Now, I'm about to ask you a real quick, sidebar. All right.
What you got?
All right. So check this out. Say I decide to, not saying that I do or I don't. Say I decide to patronize your business one day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm and I've utilized the products, and now I'm a bit hungry. Where would you recommend top 5 diners in New Jersey? Go.
All right. So first place, if you was here, I'm gonna say you got to go to, and it's not a diner, but you gotta go to Special Pizza City. It's like an amazing pizza shop right down the street, but they got good pizza. And I'm gonna say, to put us out there, Jersey got the best pizza for sure. But they got, we're close to Philly, so you could get a good cheesesteak here in Trenton. You know what I'm saying? Like we got that too. Another place that I would say you want to go next, and I'm gonna stay right in my neighborhood around here because we got some great places right in our neighborhood. We got a place called Pork Chops Barbecue, like right across the street. Man, I'll be getting, this is like, now that I'm on my workout stuff, they got like these chicken skewers and like the almost like the coal, the food is like real stuff. Oh my God, it's so good. And clearly, you could tell I'm another a barbecue lover. Got to shout out another 1911 Smokehouse Barbecue. That's downtown Trenton. That's amazing. Black owned, great food. Another one. Yeah, 1911. He's a Kappa out member of Kappa Alpha Psi. He got 1911.
That's the other side of 1911.
Yeah, see, you was like, hold on. You was like, hold on 1 second.
I caught it. But
you was like, hold on 1 second. Yeah. So that I'm going to say, what else? Man, so many different spots. We've got plenty of great like Spanish food restaurants here. Another one of my favorites, I would say, dang, we got to have some soul food in there. It's like a bomb spot called Tracy's Kitchen, like amazing soul food. Now, me, for real, if I got the munchies, my mom lived right around the corner from here, and I was away from home for 20 plus years. So me personally, I'm trying to figure out something. I'm gonna be like, yo, mom, what you got? What you got? Okay. So number one, I'm gonna hit mom up and be like, let me get something, you know? And then on top of that, man, I love a good steak, man. So
yes,
man,
bro.
You know, I'm a good steak lover. So I'll probably, and again, it's a chain, but I'm probably gonna go to Eddie V's or something like that, or like Ruth's Chris, get a steak, something, you know, like I love, you can never go wrong. You can never eat too much steak, especially when you're trying to get them gains, man.
Trying to get them gains, my brother. Gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta do what you gotta do. So, all right. So first, I'm letting you know when I come out there in the patronized business, though, I will be. Hey, I'll be right next to you. Like, yeah. So what is my cooking today, man? Like, what's happening? Like, you know what I mean? And then if we can't get that, then we'll hit the Eddie V's, bro. We'll hit the Eddie V's. I wanted to ask. You once quipped that I didn't realize cannabis was so hard, and I wonder for you, what has this journey taught you about suffering, endurance, and the emotional cost of leadership?
Yeah. So for one, I'll say it's taught me a lot about perseverance. Like people always say, and you take that for granted, but perseverance is like when you really like feel like it, again, for one, it took so much time, right? I got this license and it took me 2 years before I actually opened. But in the midst of that, there were so many times where I could have failed or almost didn't make it. Like it was somebody that they met me one time in real life, and there's like, there's like, bro, I'm not even gonna lie. I was been following the story for so long. There was a point where I didn't really think you was gonna do this and pull it off. And again, but bro, if I'm being totally honest, there were times where it got so bad where I didn't really know that I would either, but I know I kept waking up every day, kept trying, kept doing what I had, kept doing what I had to do, and kept believing in the overall goal. And then I'll say, even after getting the license and getting operational, success is not guaranteed, right? Like in business, it takes time to build that momentum to grow. In the beginning, like I had, and so this is what I'll say, perseverance. What it has also taught me about is the faith. Because like right when you think that it's the darkest and you can't go on and excuse me, my French, like it's done, it's over. That is when God has your back and you were still able to make it. So even in my case, right, like a couple things happened. Like I got a grant from New Jersey Economic Development Authority, and like that was after like I had raised all this money to get the business and we were so close to opening. And then I had let's just imagine you've done already put in over $1 million and you're $10,000 away from being able to open. And if you can't get it, it's all over and you don't got nobody else to go to, nobody else to turn to. I ended up getting a grant and the disbursement came like right. That disbursement came like literally right. If it was like, if I didn't get it that day, like it would have all been over. And then fast forward a little bit later, right? Like when I'm actually in business and times are tough and bills are stacking up, all this is stacking up. Like again, from a personal like money that I had coming to me for years from back in finance, and all of a sudden I just get it, right? And it's like been waiting 5 years for this, you know what I'm saying? God was right on time. And that's just happened multiple times. It's like as you continue to believe in yourself and just stay the course, and you got that's the only way that you're gonna make it. Because if you give up, again, you can't go in the corner and cry or woe is me or whatever, or there's no plan B, you know. So it's taught me to continue to, even when times get rough, remain faithful.
Do you believe ownership truly creates freedom, or does it simply create a different kind of responsibility?
It depends, right? Like it creates freedom because thankfully, like, again, I'm my own boss. I don't have anybody telling me that I have to be here any certain time. But I certainly work more than I did when I was, punching somebody else's clock, and that's because this is mine and I have the pride in it. But also I have the freedom to, a week like last week, if I want to say, hey, I'm going to take time off to go spend with my kids and just do that for a week, I can do that and not have to get up and punch a clock, right? Or if I want to be like, hey, me and my girl are going to go on vacation. Like, again, it is hard to unplug because I'm always on business. But at the same time, I am able to at least sometimes like carve out little times just to be able to, do what I want to do with my family, or something as small as, go see my 94-year-old grandmother, or like spend time with family. Like I'm blessed to be able to have the ability to do that. But, when you have a business, it's definitely going to be more responsibility, because not only the way I think of it, do I depend on this to feed my family, but I also have, all of my employees that depend on this livelihood to feed their family as well. So if I'm not successful and we're not successful, there's a lot more people at risk than just me. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the way I think about it.
You've spoken, about prior about equity and opportunity for underrepresented communities. I wonder, do you think healing can happen through economics alone, or does true repair require something deeper?
I think economics is part of it, but this was something that myself and other folks who were advocates in New Jersey, it was getting legalized, were cognizant of, right? Every person that has been impacted by the war on drugs or cannabis prohibition may not necessarily want to open a dispensary or have a cannabis business, right? But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't reap the positive benefits. So what that means is, again, as all these tax dollars from cannabis are coming up, that means that some of that money should go back to programs in those same communities that have nothing to do with, cannabis or ownership or business at all, right? That same, this is just making up an example, that same woman that saw her son probably go to jail or spend time over cannabis should, now that cannabis is being taxed, should be able to have that same money fix up her block in her community where it was being policed. It should be able to be like a fund if somebody wants to start a small business, that these people can go and do that. It should mean that money is now going to recreational programs for the kids in these communities. So now they got something to do in the summertime, right? Like, again, those are all the ways where I think it goes beyond just like the entrepreneurship and the money being generated. And now, again, yes, certainly now that it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, we should have a piece of that pie and get a part of it. That's the first step, but I think it goes much further beyond that. You know what I mean? When you talk about that reparation, if you will, in our communities.
Couple quick ones. Well, maybe not so quick because now I'm really thinking about this. Favorite thing about fatherhood?
Favorite thing about fatherhood is seeing my children learn and grow. The fact that you look at your child today and they're different than what they were yesterday. You know what I mean? Smarter, doing something new. Same thing whether you're talking about like a baby or my older one, because my youngest is 7 months. I have a 7-month-old, a 3-year-old, an 8-year-old, 11-year-old. I get the same joy from watching them and seeing them just grow and learn and explore the world. So that's the beautiful thing. I think just seeing them learn, grow, progress, and everything.
Least favorite thing about fatherhood?
Least favorite thing about fatherhood, you know what? As I talk to older people, I think I probably ain't encountered it yet, man. Least, I think it's like those teenage years. Like again, my kids are all easy, they're all good, but I think if anything, it's really like for the least favorite thing. Again, I'll say it's also been the same thing that drove me though, is that responsibility, right? It's that. Again, when I knew that I was taking a risk to leave a 6-figure job for a $15 an hour job, is knowing that if I wasn't successful, that how does this impact them, right? But at the same time, I also knew that if I am, then the way it would change everything. So it was worth the risk. But in all honesty, like, bro, I don't have anything that I don't love, that I haven't loved about being a father. Yeah, it's been a great experience.
Favorite thing about owning a dispensary?
Hey, I love weed. The fact that if I want to, I can go downstairs and be like, "What am I smoking today?" and go get it. The fact that I no longer got to really set aside a budget to buy weed, that's my favorite part.
I respect it. Least favorite thing about owning a dispensary?
Man, least favorite thing about owning a dispensary is I would say 280E, man. And what that is a little bit educational. 280E is the fact that that cannabis, although it is legalized on the state level, well, up until recently, last week, and it still is technically, cannabis is a Schedule I drug. So what that means as a business owner, we don't get the opportunity to write off like expenses in like the same way as like a normal business would. So the fact that as a cannabis business, it's a lot easier. It's difficult to navigate in a lot of ways. That is my least favorite part about it. But also, it's also what makes it, the fact that it's so difficult to navigate is like the challenge is one that's like exciting, right? Because if you're a type of person that likes a challenge accepted, and know, hey, I'm going to come at this, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to do it, then you won't find anything more challenging for you to get to work at, that I could imagine, unless you were trying to figure out like how to like build some shit in space or like cure cancer or something. This shit is that hard. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I believe you, man. I gotta ask you this. What is a truth about power that most people don't understand until they finally obtain some?
I would say the reality or the idea that once you were in a position that people perceive to be a position of power, that you will have, again, and you never thought of it, but when you get it, there will be people that will come for you, hate on you, do whatever, try to take what you got. And I think for some people, natural instinct is the one to be giving, help everybody, trust everybody. But you will soon learn that that there are people that exist that don't have your best interest, and you have to also somewhat put your guard up. You know what I mean? Even though it's not what you want to do. So I would say that's something that I think kind of learned.
If the cannabis industry became completely corporate tomorrow, what part of your mission would remain untouched and uncorrupted?
Well, I would say, to be honest with you, man, believe it or not, most of the cannabis industry is completely corporate today.
Corporate. Yeah.
So regardless of that, like, my mission isn't gonna change, right? It would just mean that I know that I gotta have, which I do already, a good attorney and a good accountant, so, and a good team. Right.
Team.
So nothing would change, man. Nothing would change at all.
When your story is finished, what do you hope people say you gave the world beyond the business?
Dang, man, that one was a good one, man. It always made me get that to hold back the emotion real quick. You know, if anything, what I would say, the most important and my favorite part of this that I love about being back home, especially in Trenton, New Jersey, where I'm from, a place where a lot of people don't get opportunity. More than anything, if I could inspire anybody that this is real, that it could actually be done, like, that is it for me, right? Like, again, just setting this blueprint of success for so I think about, like, one of the things like that I'm thankful of in my career, even before having the dispensary, I've had the opportunity to meet so many people and to hear, like, what this means for them, even people who have never met me in their life, never seen, never been here. And the fact that something that I'm doing means so much to so many people makes it important. So again, I would just always want somebody to look at me and say I was a person that no matter what, I moved with integrity. No matter what, I kept it real. No matter what, I continued to give back to my community, and set that blueprint of what we can look like as a business person. That's kind of the legacy that I would want to leave. And then also, again, the fact that I have children, to be able to build something that they could potentially, like, one of these girls come be the CEO of this company one day, right? The fact that this could be something that still exists hundreds of years from now is something that I love. But even alternatively, like, even if it went a different way, it's not an intention, but even if I were to sell this business and something like that could create this future for my family and my business, again, I think it's something that I'm always thinking of, is that I just want this opportunity that I have I want to be a good steward of this opportunity that I have. And in so many ways, like I said, just leave the cannabis industry better than I found. Like not just this, right? Like the entire industry. Like when I got into the industry, before I ever even had my dispensary, like, I spent years and had the goal of just trying to make this better for all of our people across the board. And I'm thankful that I got the opportunity to actually finally win and get the dispensary, and now get to be like, it's almost like I'm like my own like test case, right? If you will, like, to, and actually doing this, because for so long I was preaching that we should have the opportunity and do it. And now I get to actually live it, breathe it, see it, do it. And so hopefully that leaves a positive impact on the world and other people.
Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, you done left a positive impact on my life, sincerely speaking. And as somebody from the outside looking in, bro, like, I'm honored just to even be able to sit down here and have this conversation with you. You are inspiring a lot more people than you realize, way more people than you realize. So, your story, bro, is one that, incites confidence in those who feel as if, like, it can't be done, because they see you and they see it can be done.
Right.
So I just want to just express that to you, because, man, you are a blessing to not only just your community, but to those who feel as if, like, hey, I could possibly step out there and do this.
For sure. Thank you, bro. Thank you. And that's why I always that's what I've always loved about sharing the journey and everything along the way, because it's very real. You get to see it, right? And that you also get to see, again, Yes, do I have this background finance? Did I go to Howard? Yes, but again, even all that stuff with like work, right? It's that work
Right.
all along the way. You see, if you keep putting it in, you could be successful. You know what I'm saying? And so, thankfully, I get to have that blueprint. And again, I take it as an honor. Like I said, even when you reached out again, you all the way from Houston, Texas, right? Like the fact that what I've done gets you people, you get to see it, feel impacted by it, feel inspired by it. Again, for me, regardless of how the dispensary does or how this plays out, the fact that at least for a moment in time, I've got to have that impact on the world and on people means a lot to me, because again, there were people that I looked at that inspired me, that to be able to do this. And again, to be able to just have that impact is like the greatest, I think the greatest compliment that you could give to the world or whatever, is to kind of just have impact and leave it better than you found it. So
Yes, sir. Speaking of leaving things better than they found it, I want to get into the goal of the show, which is philanthropy, garnering support from the audience and putting it towards a charity or nonprofit that you care about. What charity or nonprofit would you like to spotlight today? Give a shout out to, and why is the cause that it faces so important to you?
yeah, so the charity that I want to highlight today is Salvation and Social Justice. That is a local organization that was actually founded by the pastor of my church, and they do such good work, like right here, not only in Trenton but all across New Jersey, focused on restorative justice. Again, not just through cannabis, but through the lens of again, it's not a religious organization, although it's founded by a pastor, but again, it goes hand in hand with the mission. So again, like one of the things that they've done, Trenton is one of the biggest things that I'm proud of. Like the city of Trenton is a birthing desert. I always hear Reverend Boyer say you can die in Trenton, but you can't be born in Trenton, right? There's no hospital here in this city that delivers babies. So think of this as the capital of New Jersey, inner city. Like they're building a birthing center where women can have access to services, maternity things so that people can have babies here. They do a lot of, they have what they call the Trenton Street Team, where it's again a lot of brothers that may have been in the street, and now they have a job to be mentors and go into the community and help people. They're doing so many different things here, like, representing people on the political platforms, police interventions, like, all of these types of things. And so, again, I think it's such an important organization that really is giving back to the community and actually doing the work. A lot of people that are in social justice, you can't just throw money at things. You are actually doing the work in the community, and Reverend Boyer has been such a great he's been such a great person in the community. So I always support that organization wholeheartedly.
Amen to that one, brother. So hopefully those who are on the sound of our voices, they will not only just donate their time, energy, or effort, but maybe even a monetary donation to them. And that is Salvation and Social Justice. The link is right there at the bottom. Please, you guys, go out, show them love. And yeah, man, I want to say thank you so much for sitting here with me. Before we close out, we like to leave with words of wisdom. So, what words of wisdom would you have for a father who is working his 9 to 5, but also trying to start a business as well?
Yeah. What I was saying is from my own example, right? When I had a 9 to 5, I also had a 10 to 3. And that 10 to 3 was me after I put the kids to sleep, like sitting there working on my business, like setting that plan, working those goals for the future. And I did that for years, right? To just set that foundation. So again, I think that we all have times in life where they said, there's this saying, I think it was Dave Ramsey or something, like you work like nobody else or something like that, or live like nobody else so you can live like nobody else or something like that. So sometimes there will be points in life where you're putting in extra work, extra dedication. To be honest, I'm still in that season now, but the goal would be when you are successful, then that is when you have the time to give back to your family, to be able to be there. So put in that grind. But then I'll also say be kind to yourself, right? Be forgiving to yourself. I think as a man or just as a father, you probably want to always get it right. You always want to be able to provide for your family. You always want to be able to do these things. But again, you have to protect your peace and your sanity and be able to make it and be that foundation for your family. Your value is not always determined by what you're able to contribute monetarily also, right? Like there were times where I didn't always have it, so, and because of the sacrifices that I made, but I always had the love of, for my kids, and they always knew they have their dad, and hopefully I know they all know that. So again, don't make your value always based on what you're able to do, and it's going to be rough. There'll be ups and downs, there'll be times, but what's meant for you is meant for you, and you keep grinding and don't give up, you're going to get it. So yeah, man, that's what I would say, man.
Look, man, there's a lot of people in the crowd that are definitely gonna be watching this, that they're gonna really feel inspired by what it is that you said there, brother. Sincerely speaking, I appreciate that.
For sure, man.
Man,
Yep, thank you, bro. That was a
hey,
good one. That was a good one right there.
That's what I'm here for, man. Like that is exactly what I'm here for. And if you ever want to come back, you can always come back here. And also, man, if you know anybody that you want to recommend for an interview up here, man, you can send them my way. And I'll definitely, off the strength of you and just your demeanor, how you are, brother, I'll gladly sit with them and talk to them.
For sure. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man.
Oh man, thank you. Is there any closing things that you want to tell the world?
Nah, well, what I would say is please make sure if you're ever in the Jersey area, stop by, check us out. Simply Pure Trenton, 1531 North Olden Avenue. We're all over social media, so follow Simply Pure Trenton. If you want to look up our website, simplypuretrenton.com, that's it, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, brother, my producer's about to bring you down, and I'm gonna close out the show.
My brother, Ezel, appreciate you, man.
Well, thank you, man. Y'all don't understand. Like, I really enjoy doing this, and I enjoy having guests that are so like candid and knowledgeable, and just speak to. Don't mind answering the questions and speak to the things in which they've lived through. I want to let y'all know, man, tonight's conversation, it reminded us that legacy is not just built through success, it's built through endurance, intention, and the willingness to transform pain into purpose. Tahir Johnson's journey is bigger than cannabis. It's about navigating systems that once excluded you and still choosing to build within them without losing yourself in the process. And maybe that's the real challenge of leadership, not just simply acquiring power, but remaining human while carrying it. I want to say thank you all so much for joining me for a frank conversation this evening. Thank you. Y'all, we gotta go. Y'all know we gotta go to Trenton, New Jersey, right? All right, we'll slide through. We'll slide through. Tune in next week, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I will have another amazing guest. Watch all the clips. Watch this when it goes up. And yeah, man, I'm Ezel Moon, and I'm not doing it unless it's fun and it helps people. Peace.